Welcome to episode 525 of the show. During the Evolve Africa Business Incubation session that I referred to, I think about 2 episodes ago, we tackled some case studies and answered a couple of questions. And some of the discussions were around a case study from someone in the class named Serafina. I'm mentioning the name today because I think it's a really interesting name. I mean, apart from the fact that we had some fruitful conversations around her cleaning business and what she does to promote her craft in the eastern part of the country, the eastern part of Nigeria. So apart from that, I found the name quite interesting because I know a South African version called Sarafina, and so this was an interesting one. I haven't heard of Serafina before, and I wondered if it was around uh, the what's it called? The choir of angels. No, not choir of angels. I think there's a rank of angels called the seraphs. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it. And I forgot to ask that question. But anyway, some of the issues that we discussed around her case study and around her own cleaning business eventually led us to pulling out a couple of themes. One of them being that you have to pay your dues to be in business, and that paying your dues is necessary for all trades, for all disciplines, all crafts, and all businesses. So if you're a woodworker, you have to put in your hours. You have to take your apprenticeship seriously. You have to learn the basics. That is all part of paying your dues. For those of us who have legal degrees and who spent some time as lawyers, it was part of paying the dues that not only did you go to law school, but you would clerk for your seniors or for a judge. Let's see what else. There's a period of I can't remember what it's called. Is it attachment? I think it was called attachment back in the day. I'm not sure what it's called right now because I did mine in 2006 maybe. So you would do your attachments, you'd be fixed to a law office. That's while you were still taking your law studies, and there was quite a bit of research to be done and carrying bags and things like that. And all this was just thought of, described rather, as paying your dues, not because you were paying any financial dues per se, but it was more of in a figurative sense. And it's the same if you're a basketballer, if you're a footballer, waking up every day, doing your drills, to learn the foundation, all that is just paying your dues. Now, for those of us who are in business, there is another level that is required apart from doing the fundamentals. So, if you're a photographer, the fundamentals includes learning how to shoot, how to edit, how to compose, and then things like that. But then there's another layer that is added beyond the technical. So if you're Serafina, part of the technical is making sure that you know your chemicals, you know your project management for how to manage cleaning the office complex. You need to know the fundamentals of managing your staff, managing time, managing materials and resources and money and things like that. But beyond that, there's an extra layer for those of us who are business owners. And then that is that paying our dues is establishing a foundation, and the foundation of being in business is to have paying customers or users. Because for people like Serafina and I, we need paying customers to keep the lights on. But for other people who are trying to float the next greatest app or social network or whatever it is, you need users right now to validate your business idea. And if you haven't heard anything about market validation, after you're done with this episode, this is episode 524, you have to scroll back a little bit, not too much. I think it's definitely right after episode 500 or so. We have some episodes here on how to validate your business idea by using either sales to show that people are paying for the idea, or by showing that you've got traction. That's you have the ratio of the number of people that you've spoken to, the number of people who signed up to your app, the number of people who are referring, those people who use it daily, how many people have dropped off, all those sorts of discussions. So that's how you validate your business idea using traction. So for those people who are on the tech side, users will be fine for now. Eventually, you have to get to the point of monetization, and you're talking about whether people pay a fee or whether you're paying for advertisements or stuff like that. But in the beginning, this is part of laying the foundation. We either need paying customers or we need users. And the reason why this is so is because you are not going to have a business without paying customers. Somebody has to pay to keep the lights on so that you can continue providing the services that you provide, so that consultants like me can go on dishing out advice and helping people realize outsized returns from their time and their money. And people like Serafina can go around making sure that our houses and our offices and the public places are bright and sparkling, fresh and clean. So the foundation for any business is to have customers. So paying our dues involves going out, excuse me, going out to look for customers every day. Now, this has to be done using an activity that is called prospecting. So, prospecting is part of paying our dues. Prospecting is the idea of going out every day, or every 2 days, or every week, or every month, whatever cadence suits your business, your personality, your context. So, waking up every day, or whatever cadence, and thinking about who is it that I need to talk to today that could become a potential customer tomorrow, or that could become a potential user for my app or for my idea. And that is what prospecting is about, and that is part of paying our business dues. Because if you do not prospect, if you don't ask yourself this question, who should I talk to today, who might be interested, who maybe has a need, who could be a potential user, who could be a potential customer, then you are not going to get that revenue that is required to sustain a business. I repeat, if you don't have a customer, you don't have a business, because no customer means no revenue. No revenue means no business. And the reason why that business is not going to be there is because of one very simple fact. If you keep trying to practice this thing that is your business, that is your craft, that is your trade, and you're not getting any revenue, then this thing is a hobby. And the truth of the matter is, your spouse and your kids are not going to allow you to have this hobby for a very long time. So let's say you like cleaning, just like Serafina, and you go about and you're cleaning people's offices as a hobby. That takes a lot of time, that takes a lot of effort. If you're not bringing in anything, eventually your husband is going to grumble, and your kids are going to resent the fact that you are not home a lot. You're not being a mom, and the fights between you and your husband about whether and what you're contributing to the family pocket. I mean, those things are going to take its strain. The same thing for those of us who are in the consulting business. If you don't have clients, eventually your wife, your spouse, is going to resent this hobby of yours that is taking up hours every day and is contributing nothing to the family, account, to the family pocket. So we cannot afford to have these hobbies, these activities, these trades, these disciplines, these passions, whatever it is, not bringing in revenue for too long, because it's going to cause a lot of toll on our personal relationships and on our sanity. So we need to have paying customers. We need to have users. The only way that you're going to get that is by prospecting, and that is by waking up periodically to ask yourself, who should I talk to that will become a potential customer? Who should I talk to that can become a user? Traditionally, that is done by canvassing, going around and talking to people face to face, a physical thing. And then there's the art of demand generation, which is putting out content and stuff online that makes you appear like a nice, beautiful bride so that people are rushing to talk to you. Either way, you're putting something out into the atmosphere or into the universe, as some people like to call it. So, either way, you're putting something out into the universe that people can respond to, that will get the ball rolling. If you're going out and talking to people, people can respond to that. If you're throwing out content, people can respond to that. Either way, that is something that we all need to do. It's two sides of the same coin. Either way, it's prospecting. Whether you're going out and canvassing or whether you're doing your stuff online. Now, I mentioned to Serafina that it's good that she started off canvassing. We had to set some expectations around what realistic expectations are for canvassing, because some people just think that if you talk to 10 people, you end up doing business with 10. But unfortunately, that's not the case, because not everybody wants what we have. Not everybody needs what we have. And even when people want or need what we have, not everybody can afford what we have. So I tried to get her and other members of the cohort to accept some much more realistic expectations. So, not knowing the industry, I just gave a random guess that going by 80-20, which seems to be conventional wisdom, we should expect that if we talk to 10 people, maybe we end up doing business with two. And let's start from there and start refining our processes to see how we can go from 2 out of 10 to 3 out of 10 to 4 out of 10. That might seem small, but we did some rough math to show that If your profit margin on each individual person is maybe 50K, going from 2 people a month to 3 people a month, actually, it's not bad, because from 2 people a month to 3 people a month means that you now have an extra 50K. If you're able to add one more person the next month, it means you have an extra 100K. So it looks like it's a small thing to go from 3 to 4, but the returns, financial returns, actually are quite sizable. And then plus they're encouraging. If you started doing business in January, and then January, February, March, you have profits of 100K, and then April, May, June, the profits went up to 150, 150, 150, and then for the next quarter, it went up another 200, 200, 200. So that would have mean that you started out the year at 100, and then in the space of, is that 9 months, you've ended up doubling your profits. So don't think of it as a small feat if you go from closing 3 out of 10 to 4 out of 10. Eventually the math does add up. Anyway, I'm not going to go beyond and start discussing more of the details that we went to in the session. But the main thing that I want you guys to get today in episode 525 is that we have to pay our dues. Paying our dues, to do that, we need a coin called prospecting. That coin has two sides, like any other coin, heads or tails. And prospecting, you're going to do that by either canvassing, looking for physical people to talk to, like Serafina did, or you're going to end up doing demand generation, like she ended up doing as well, which is putting out content on your LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp. Oh, yeah, she uses WhatsApp a lot, and the other members of the cohort who used WhatsApp as well. But unfortunately, I think we had about less than 20 people in the session. Lots of people mentioned WhatsApp. I would have loved to have gotten some specifics about how they use WhatsApp in their own business, because I have some ideas about that I'm going to talk about in future episodes. But unfortunately, it was supposed to be a 1 hour session. We already overshot the time and did an hour 30. So I don't have their insights to share with you guys today. But rest assured, in future episodes, you'll be hearing what my ideas are about using WhatsApp for business. So thank you very much for listening to today's episode 525. Thanks for your time and attention. Remember that you guys can ask me anything by sending WhatsApp messages, Telegram messages, or voice notes on either platform at 080 6466 2140. Again, at 080 6466 2140. The country code is +234. That's for Nigeria. Again, the country code is +234. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you guys at the next episode.